He is an epic host. He's really, really good at it. I'm talking about David, of course. His personality is so perfect for Wonderama. That's just one of the things that he does. Of course, he's a scion of the world famous Osmond Family and has carried on this iconic entertainment legacy with incredible success while overcoming great challenges too. And we're going to share some of that. We're going to talk about that as well. He's been very positive and very inspirational. I mean, the Osmond Family is that. I don't think they know any other way than being positive and inspirational and loving and always having a good time, great humor. David is the same way. David began performing at age 4 and was discovered by Bob Hope as the lead singer of the Osmonds' second generation, a group comprised of Alan Osmond's sons. David's career has included tours to sold-out arenas in the US, Europe, and Asia, and contracts with both Curb Records and Epic Sony. 4 songs in the UK Top 40 as well. As a theater artist, he took over for his uncle, Donny, yes. Starring in Andrew Lloyd Webber's Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat in 5 separate comedies, David was also featured on Fox hit TV show American Idol. He has recently performed alongside artists such as Stevie Wonder, the Eagles, Steven Tyler, performed on stage at venues ranging from London's Wembley Arena to Oprah Winfrey's Harpo Studios. Also, a multiple sclerosis diagnosis forced David to put his music career on hold temporarily, but his inspiring physical battle to return to the stage has made him a symbol of hope for the MS community. His recent single, I Can Do This, debuted on Fuse's Top 20 Countdown, and as the Emmy Award-nominated host for 5 years of the syndicated TV program Wonderama, he seeks to inspire a future generation of kids and their families. Really a great soul, a great person, a family man as well. My pleasure to welcome live from the Cousins house in Southern Utah, the one and only David Osmond. David, hey, welcome to the show, my friend. It's a pleasure to have you here.
It's so nice to be here. Thank you. Wow, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining, everybody. Sorry,
everybody says that.
My bio there, Jim. Thank you.
Everybody says that too. And sometimes they're like, my God, I forgot I did that, and I did that, and I did that.
I feel selfish. Enough about me. What about you? What do you think of me?
I think you're amazing. Like I said, I think we should have flown to Southern Utah and been doing this poolside. That would have been cool. The kids are jumping around in the pool.
Well, there's nothing cool about it. It's blazing. I think it was 107 degrees today. It's 106. Wow. It's so hot. So we were in Zion National Park, my wife and I and the kids. We love Utah for so many reasons, but there's a lot of national parks, and we always go down to Zion. My buddy is the mayor there, and we go and hang out and do a bunch of fun stuff, camping and all the like. And we got out of there late. We had a hiccup getting out. We had a problem with the camper and all that kind of stuff we're doing. So I was racing back up north, and I'm like, I'm not going to make it. Yeah. And so I'm like, I got to be on for the East Coast. I don't think I'm going to make it. So I called my cousin who lives down here. He's awesome. He's got a Doctor Strange phone.
It's cool. You know,
I've
you
never
could be in London.
So this is kind of new terrain for me. But he had an awesome internet connection. And then like 30 minutes before we go on, his internet pops down. I think the heat did something. I'm just so glad that it worked out to be able to be here. I've been looking forward to this time with you, Jim. And thank you for having me on your show. Your reputation precedes you. I should return the favor and read your bio. It might take the entire hour because you've done so many amazing things. So thank you for having me.
Do you have a fax machine nearby? I can fax it, right?
Seriously. Yeah, the old school technology. At least it works.
Yeah, the fax with the sound. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, thanks for the welcome. And I know that you've been excited to come on the show. Everybody's been telling me, and I really, really appreciate that. And I think that's what's cool about you and just your whole family. The spirit is so incredible. You guys are always, through thick and thin, so positive. And I know a lot of that is the love of family. A lot of that is the faith base, and all of it just really wraps up into a terrific way of living and being through the good times and the crazy times as well. And as we know, all of us individually and collectively have certainly gone through and experienced some of the crazier of times in the last 14 months or so. How have you been? How has the family been through all of the unusualness of what we have and continue to go through a little bit here?
Thank you. Thank you. That's very nice and very kind of you. Life is tough. Life isn't always roses and peaches and lollipops. And we've all been going through, especially a hard time as of late. As far as my family goes, I stand on the shoulders of giants. I truly have had the greatest examples growing up, not just in music, but in life. And that starts with the very top, my grandparents.
Yes.
They are awesome. They were incredible people, and they were the secret sauce to, I think, the success of the original Osmonds, because it was always based in principles. In their life, what my grandparents established for my dad and his brothers and his sister Marie, there were 9 kids in the family, 8 boys and 1 girl. They always had a value of tiered principles and things that were the most important to them. It always started with God at the top, and then it was family, and then it was music and showbiz and anything else in this world. And keeping things in the priorities in that order is something that my grandparents made sure that they focused on. They had values. They had things that they stood for, and they knew that they would never compromise. And I think even though on some levels, some people say that could have been a detriment to their careers, being too much one way or the other, or not willing to do other things that some might, they have stuck together as a family, and they love each other, and they were extremely successful for over 60 years. I mean, that doesn't happen anymore.
No.
Selling over 100 million records. And still, some of my relatives, Donny and Marie, they're still just rocking it. They're still going.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. My Uncle Merrill's still touring around, still performing. And it's really cool to see that they have continued the success and the unity together. There you go. I've got a picture of my family. I have 7 brothers, no sisters. So out of 8 boys, we grew up with a lot of music, a lot of noise. And my 3 older brothers and I, Mike, Nate, Doug, and myself, we were a barbershop quartet when I was just a little tiny kid. I was like 2 years old when we started. Yeah. Because we watched my dad. We thought every kid's dad did this thing called showbiz. Yeah, there you go. We dressed the same, had the same look, and my dad taught us the same routines that he learned when he was a little boy on the Andy Williams shows. And so we did the same. We're side by side by side by side by. You know, we learned the same barbershop little routines. We had obviously our outfits are matching, and we just had so much fun because we love music. And my dad, seeing this desire as kids, us wanting to get into this industry, not knowing it was a business. We just love music. We love being on stage, love performing. He knew that if we were going to do it, he wanted us to do it the right way. He says, if you're serious about this, it's work. It's a lot of work. Yeah. And so he taught us the same ropes that he was trained on. And that was getting up at 5 in the morning. Let's rehearse. Let's go. Let's march. And my grandpa, being a drill sergeant that he was, literal master sergeant, raised his boys very militantly in some ways. Yeah, there was structure. My dad tried to keep that structure with us, and respect and hard work. And I'm grateful for those principles, things he taught us as young kids, because we learned that nothing is handed to you, and if whatever you want out of life, you got to put the same effort in. Exactly. And I'm grateful for that example. And we had just a blast growing up with music. We kind of evolved into a boy band as we got older. We used to tour with the New Kids on the Block back in the day, the 4 of us, and we were signed with Curb Records and Epic Sony, and we traveled the world, having experiences that most kids never got a chance to do. And though we didn't have most experiences that other kids had, there's always the give and the take, the good with the bad. And the experiences I had were unforgettable. And I'm just so grateful, have so much gratitude.
Absolutely. And you can just hear it in the way you describe it and the way you share that, David. And you and I were talking about the fact that you were now at your cousin's, better Wi-Fi and everything. And I said, there's an Osmond probably at every exit in Utah, right?
That's true. We were talking about that. This is the picture.
Look at that.
Family, and this was a long time ago. It's exponentially grown since then. I should get you a picture of the time that Oprah Winfrey, she sent a plane across America, picking up as many Osmonds as she could to go back to Chicago. And we had like a big family reunion on stage. I think she picked up about 106 of us. I think is what it was. And we had the biggest pillow fight. I think we must have broken a world record or something, because it was the largest pillow fight up in the air. in like a DC-9 airplane that she chartered to pick up all the Osmonds. It was funny. There are quite a few cousins. Interestingly enough, not that many are actually in showbiz. My cousin here, he's a pathologist. He's a doctor, and he got a real job. He chose the path a little more wisely, I think, in some regards. But I'm so grateful. I'm still in entertainment, performing, singing. You asked the question about the last 14 months. I think maybe our entertainment industry was the least essential. One of the least, because we were all unemployed. Right. Everything we had scheduled or contracted or booked, or all the pre-production you put into it, all that cost, it was gone. Yeah. And there are so many friends that are in the industry that have just been decimated, and we definitely have taken our blows and hits and bruises, and so many have. And you mentioned you're close to New York. I mean, especially that Broadway crowd. Oh, sure. It is tough. Yeah. It is so hard, and many have lost their livelihoods. Yeah, of this and in the entertainment industry and others, but life, as my dad says, life is tough. So are you. So you be tough right now. Right, and that's a beautiful way. That's an absolutely beautiful way to look at it, because you need to have that resilience and that tenacity and that positive spirit to get through some of the things that life throws at you. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Again, change is inevitable. If you're going through the worst time of your life. If things are hard, if things are difficult, hang on to hope. Change will happen. The principle also applies to the other side. If you're going through the best time of your life right now, life couldn't be better, that's awesome. Congratulations. But just know change might happen. And I think if you're prepared for that, at least if you accept that, this trip on Earth it's such a fast one at the end of the day. It's so quick. And trying to enjoy every single moment we have, the good with the bad, and find joy in that journey is really a goal. In fact, I just wrote a song just the other day. I wrote a song called Joy in the Journey. I was asked to come and speak to a large youth group. This was last week, and it was a ton of these 12 to 18-year-old young ladies, and they were having this camp, and they wanted me to come keynote and maybe sing a song or two. And they told me the theme of their camp was Joy in the Journey. And I said, can I write a song for you? They said, yeah. So I wrote this song just the other day, because music is powerful. Music is what feelings sound like. And it was so cool to see these kids, their lives are ahead of them, and to share, little tidbits of things that I've learned throughout my life, the good, the bad, sometimes the ugly, but also to realize that there's silver lining in all of this and this whole experience, no matter what. And to try and find that joy. And if you're going through that hard time, hang on, endure to the end of the day, and just get to tomorrow and support each other and love each other, help each other through this. We're all in the same lifeboat together. It was fun to watch them learn this song and to give them this song and watch them dance, get up on their chairs and just bounce around. It was so cool. It was fun. Music has a way of connecting us. It really does. It's very healing too, isn't it, David? It has such healing properties. It's extraordinary, and you got that, that, and that's what's cool. It was fun, that message, just kind of sharing that with other people. The song came out, I co-wrote it with a buddy of mine. It goes, I'm gonna find joy in the journey, 'cause I know it'll be worth it. Every step that I might take is one more memory I'll make. So I'm gonna find joy. I'm gonna find joy in the journey. And then it has this beat. They were just dancing. And by the end of the song, they'd never heard it. And I turned it over to them, and they were singing the words immediately. Wow. And high-fiving each other and dancing. It was just the coolest experience. I love that I get to share music with people, because it just connects us. It really, really does, my friend. And again, it goes, it cuts right to here, which is such a beautiful thing. And even some of the audience is saying that too. Very well said, very inspirational words. That's Alessandra in North Carolina. Janet saying, very well put, David. Definitely words to live by. And I love that. Cool stuff. And they've all welcomed you to Lovety Hall. I love the levity that you explained to me. That's such a cool catchphrase that you've got. You've coined a term that's yours and all of your followers, and and audience. It's pretty rad, man. Nice
Thank
job.
you. I appreciate that. Again, I kept saying that it was an accident that I said levity when I was saying light, love, and levity, taking love and levity, putting it together and creating levity. And everybody says, no, that's not the case. That was supposed to be. So it's just the vibe too, that I've always had, and the vibe, of the show, and everybody's sort of joined in, which I think is awesome. So I tell everybody, you can get Oscars, Emmys, Tellys, Tonys, Peabodys, Grammys, but when you get a levity on the Jim Masters show live, it's like, I've had Oscar-winning guests, Grammy-winning guests on the show, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, the Oscar I have on the shelf is good, the Grammy, but this levity, this is what I've worked my entire life for."
I love it, dude. I love it. That's fantastic. Well, I'm honored to be in the mix as far as being on your show and sharing some conversation and some stories, and we learn through stories.
That's right,
and that's what music is a true storyteller.
Yes, exactly right. And that's what we are. We're storytellers, and, that's what you do too. And you mentioned kids, and you've mentioned, inspiring them, and this opportunity to host what was and still is an iconic show as Wonderama. Tell us about that and how that happened. I mean, you're perfect for it.
Thank you.
Your energy and your positive outlook and your ability to interact with and relate to kids, which is very, very important. I mean, you can have, as a host myself, you can have a personable host, but if you can't relate to the kids, nothing will work. And you've been able to do that. So kudos to you, from one host to the next.
Well, Jim, thank you. It's honestly like a dream job. I love it. I'm like a big 6-year-old.
Oh yeah.
And truly, normally we film in New York. We're going into filming our 6th season, I believe. It's crazy. 6 years we've been doing this. Thank you. I'm actually going to be in New York next week.
Oh, wow.
I leave a week from today. And get this, usually we're in studio. We're inside a studio where we have 100 kids in the audience. Yeah. We're doing, like you see here, like messy games, and we'll have cool prizes. We'll do like pies in the face and crazy wild stuff. Yeah. And we also have like recipes. We'll do like the I'm gonna slide over here so I can be
yeah.
We're both doing a little lean.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No, like we'll have like the Master Chef Junior come on, and these are kids entertaining kids. So I'm kind of like, I act in my mind like the older brother, and I'm just setting the table, letting them come out and do what they do best. So like if we have a dance group, a bunch of kids, they're break dancing, they're doing something, or like a clogging group, a tap dancing group, whoever it might be. You should see these kids light up when they watch their peers doing something absolutely incredible. It's fantastic. So we'll have, science whiz, come on, we'll do science experiments and blow stuff up. But mostly we have a lot of music, a lot of dance groups, a lot of singers. And this year, because, New York and the craziness that's been going on, there's not a lot of facilities we can get into with a live studio audience. So this year is our first attempt, and it's gonna be fantastic. We're gonna be in the heart of New York, in Manhattan. We're gonna be downtown in Times Square. Wow. We're literally right in the middle of Times Square next week, and we have stages all over. Wow. And we're gonna be doing all our performances and games and dance groups. We're gonna do that all right there in the middle of Times Square, right next to TKTS. Right next to those red bleachers. Oh yeah, we're there the whole week. We're going to be filming. So if you happen to be in New York,
I was going to say
this next week, we're going to do a ton of stuff. Come swing by and see the show in action. It's going to be wild. It's going to be hot, but
it's going to be
blazing. So I'll be sweating quite a bit, I'm sure.
It's going to be hot.
It's fun to watch these kids just shine, and like I said, standing on the shoulders of giants. Those that preceded me in this role, you mentioned Bob McAllister.
Yes.
Wonderama. And I can't believe that you're old enough to remember the original Wonderama.
Oh, he was a legend, huh?
Oh, my goodness. And it's crazy. Last season that we did this, Bob McAllister's daughter actually came to the show. Oh, and she had her daughter. So here's Bob McAllister's granddaughter on our show. We had come be a part of some of the games. It was just like a mind warp. It was crazy to think about. Because that show, Wonderama, existed for almost 30 years.
Yes.
Sonny Fox.
Sonny Fox, too, yeah.
Fox, yeah. I mean, just really great hosts that have set the table for me to come in and have this opportunity. And I'm just grateful for this experience. It's fun. We got a lot in store for this season.
That is so cool. I mean, I'm so happy for you and so excited, and you're so juiced up about it. You can hear the enthusiasm, how you're looking forward to it. I think that's really cool. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I know it's a lot of work too, having done, obviously television.
Now
There's
you know.
blood, sweat, tears, hours is a lot. But if you're loving it and you're loving what you do, there's nothing better. And if you're inspiring others and making people smile, especially kids, that's golden, isn't it?
It's so cool. It's amazing. And to see these, I mean, they are brilliant. They're resilient, and they're also just as anxious, if not more than anybody, to be able to get back out there, especially this year, and connect and do cool things.
Exactly.
And kind of get outside the screens of their phones and their tablets and be able to do some really neat things interacting together. And so we're trying to create that experience. And also it's for kids of all ages. Our show, we've realized, it's not just the kids sitting there watching it. And we're syndicated across the country, also on Amazon Prime. But it's not just the kids sitting there watching our show. It's the parents over the shoulder and that are also enjoying the show. And so the feedback we've been getting is it's remarkable. So I'm really pleased with what we have and where we're going as a show. So check out WonderamaTV.com. We'll have more information on where it's broadcasting in your area, as well as some of the upcoming events that we have in store. So I'm stoked for it. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Oh, it's going to be cool. Also, American Idol. Tell us about that.
Oh, yeah. That was so fun, dude. It was so awesome. I mean, it was in my back door, basically. It was coming to Salt Lake City, and I had just gotten married, and my wife was just like, you should go do it. You should try it. There were several opportunities to go and be on some of these shows. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do it. I knew television. I'm like, if I go in, I don't want to go in with Osmond, because I kind of know what that.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes it's a foot in the door.
Yeah.
But man, it can also be a kick in the teeth.
Sure.
And so I wanted to say, hey, if I do one of these, I just want, the talent to kind of represent itself. And so I actually tried to do that when I went to auditions. I didn't say what my last name was. I just kind of want to go through the process and see what happens. And then, of course, inevitably it comes out when you're filling paperwork and you have to kind of do things. And it's television. It's a produced TV show, and it's a big deal. And I was grateful for the opportunity. Everyone was so gracious and so kind. Even from Simon Cowell, who was still the judge on there. He was more kind than I ever anticipated. In fact, after the audition, he said to me, David, do you realize how powerful of a surname that you have?
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow, Simon, thank you. Yeah, I do, actually. Thank you. I'm very proud of it. And he, coming from England especially, knew what Osmond represented. And especially over there, I mean, it was over in England. I mean, this is before my time. It was Osmond mania, just like they called it Beatlemania here. It was crazy. Go do some YouTube on some of those early Osmonds, early 70s, even mid 70s, and the Osmond specials and Donny and Marie shows and stuff. It was another world. It was awesome. It's amazing to think about. And it was cool on American Idol, at least, to be able to hear that perspective from Simon, who was there and understood what that represented.
Absolutely.
And I was grateful for that experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, all these wonderful experiences that you've had and continue to have, which are amazing. Truly, love of family always trumps all of it. And this wonderful relationship you have. And for folks listening, this is David Osmond. I'm Jim Masters. Thanks for joining us on the Jim Masters Show Live.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
All the lovelies from around the world, we welcome you. Special relationship, of course, with all of your family, and especially with your dad. Tell us about the relationship with your dad and the importance of family and this relationship with your dad, Alan.
Family is everything to us, and especially to my dad. He is the oldest of the original Osmond brothers. He was the leader of the group, the spokesperson, the songwriter, the producer. He kind of had to lead the way for his younger brothers, and he's an amazing individual. He's one of my greatest heroes for so many reasons, not just being the rock star that he is and amazing songwriter, performer, talent that way, but the way he lives his life. He's a rock star of life, a superstar. When I was a little kid, my dad was diagnosed with something called multiple sclerosis, MS. And again, being one of 8 boys, and so young. I'd never heard of MS. I was really young. And my dad had never heard of MS. In fact, he went to the doctor after he got the diagnosis. His first reaction was, MS, what is that? Many sons? Like, I got that. I know. I don't even know what this multiple sclerosis is. And as he quickly learned and found out, it's a disease of the central nervous system, where it's an autoimmune disease. So your immune system attacks your own body, specifically your brain and your spine. The myelin sheath that's connecting the nerves, or the insulation for your nerves, and what connects your whole central nervous system. So when your brain says, "Hey, move your fingers," it short circuits that whole electrical system to where it stops you from moving. It can affect your body physically, your cognitive ability, your eyesight. Sometimes it can affect so many different things in your working system. And for my dad, it stopped him from moving. Slowly and surely over time, he had to leave the stage. When he started dropping his mic, when he started tripping on stage, he lost his trumpet and his banjo and his guitar, and he just wasn't able to move well, and it became a danger for him. And for him to have to leave the stage as a little boy, even watching that pain, this is what he's done his entire life. To see him have to hand the mic off and not go out there on stage I can't imagine. Well, I guess I can imagine in some regards, but at that time I couldn't. Albeit, even though my dad had this challenge going on from day one, he always told me this. He said, "David, I may have MS, but MS does not have me." And he says it so sternly, so confidently. And it sounds like it's a bumper sticker, but it's honest to goodness. It's the way he knows and feels and has his conviction in that. It's true. He lives his life that way. And you could call him up on the phone right now. We could patch him in, and you could talk to him, and you'd think, this is the happiest guy I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
You don't know what the challenge behind that story is. And having a dad with that kind of a gift and that kind of an example for me was invaluable, because when I say, I can't imagine what that must have been like, I actually can imagine what that's like, because believe it or not, Jim, and I think you know a little bit about my story, years and years later, while I'm down in LA and I'm working with some amazing people, and I'm performing, and I'm writing songs. I've got so many cool things going on that I'm looking forward to as a solo artist, after doing, the Broadway tours and performing my whole life. There came a time where I actually had to leave the stage, just like my dad. I was having some physical challenges and crushing pain, burning, just smashing pain throughout my feet that moved all the way quickly to my chest, into my hands. Eyesight's diminishing. I'm tripping and falling. Very quickly, I went into a wheelchair, and I was diagnosed with the very same thing as my dad, multiple sclerosis, MS. And I have a different form of MS than my dad has. It was very aggressive, and in a matter of months, I couldn't move from the chest down. I couldn't even move my toes, and life was canceled in many ways very quickly for me, not knowing what the future holds. And I feel like if you don't believe in miracles, that I hope that you'll believe in one today, because I feel like I am living one. I still have MS.
Nice.
I can feel it right now. It's all over my body. It's crushing. It's burning. But my fingers are moving. My eyesight's back. My voice is back. My legs are moving. And even though I can't do everything, I know what I can do.
Right.
And I might have MS, but it doesn't have me. Right. And I'm living a total miracle. It sounds crazy, Jim, but having MS might be one of the best things in the world for me, because it's given me this total shift in perspective on not what I can't do anymore, but what I can do means so much more. And the little things, I feel like I've been given this gift in some way that I wish I could share with everybody. The moment my toes started moving again on their own when I wanted them to, right. I know what I can't do. I know my disabilities, but I know my abilities. Whatever I can do, it means that much more. So it's been a roller coaster ride, and I'm still on it, in many regards. But so many other people are. There's millions of people living with MS, and I've been able to be kind of a mouthpiece for them, and hopefully.
Oh, you absolutely are. And I was going to say, I mean, I already know the answer, where that stamina, that drive, that understanding of looking at the silver lining, or taking the lemons and turning lemonade into it, uh, from these situations where most people, or a lot of people, might just withdraw, give up. This family surrounding you, and the love and the support, which is essential for anybody. You know, we would encourage
Yes.
anybody to surround yourself with positivity, surround yourself with friends and family. Don't go through things alone. Don't try to tackle things alone. You need that support for those days when it's not so great. And the faith too, the very strong faith that surrounds you, coupled with the family. I'm sure you pull upon that, as well as you pull from your own reserves to help get you through these kinds of things like this, right?
Yeah, you nailed it right on the head. It's interesting to me how, but we all have our challenges. They come in different forms and different degrees and different intensities. And we're given that, we're dealt a certain hand that we have to play. And you know, you can choose to play that hand, or you can fold.
Yeah.
I hope you hold that hand.
Yes.
Play it to the best that you can, because things will happen. You'll draw new cards. You'll draw new things in your life that will change the outlook. And also realize, you mentioned something I want to share. I come from a large family. Yes, indeed. And I have an incredible wife and 3 beautiful kids. I was dating my wife before I even started going downhill physically. I proposed to her from my wheelchair. And when she says yes in sickness and health, I knew that miracles happen every day. Just that alone. But having that support group, having the people that you can surround yourself around that love you and care for you and appreciate you, that's so important. And I recognize what I have, a lot of people don't have.
Yeah.
And though my family's so big, you know, there's a lot of people, I know a lot of names. My family is actually so much bigger than that. I mean, when I go into a room and I meet a group of people that all have multiple sclerosis, we are family. There's a bond, and there's an immediate connection.
Yeah.
And I don't know, those watching, what circumstances you might have right now, whether it's multiple sclerosis, if it's cancer, if it's diabetes, if it's financial problems, if it's addiction, if it's depression, pain is inevitable in life, and it comes to all of us. But I've learned by incredible examples that are walking the walk that suffering is optional, and there's a way to be able to grit your teeth and bear down and hang on, because there are better days ahead. I promise you. And as you surround yourself with those like-minded people, the people that bring that love and that positivity, we have more in common than we realize. I believe we are brothers and sisters, and that we are having a very human experience together. It's a quick trip, and as we love each other and we support each other in the difficulties, everybody is fighting a good fight. And I look around myself and I see people every single day that I can't imagine changing that hand with, whatever cards they were dealt with, and yet they're smiling, and they seem to be doing okay, even though I know it's not easy. Right. And I think, man, what do I have to complain about? You know, we're all fighting a good fight. Yeah. So treat each other kindly. You know.
Absolutely. And it's something that, as beautiful as it is to have somebody that understands it as well, your dad and you both experiencing it. This is beautiful what you're doing here. Tell us about this photo.
I remember that, the MS Society, and there's some great 501c3 charities, MS foundations that are doing some great work in so many different capacities. The MS Society is this one, the Race to Erase MS, Can Do MS, the MS Foundation, MS Society of America. There's so many that are fighting that great fight to look for a cure, to also raise funds for those that are dealing with hardships right now. Let's build a ramp for someone that can't get out of their house, that's in a wheelchair. You know, there's so many things that we can do. And this was a few years ago, the MS Society was doing a campaign. Each one of us with MS is affected differently. Multiple sclerosis, you can think of it as actually many scars. Yeah. And so on your brain, you get these lesions, you get scarring, this brain damage from your immune system attacking. These white blood cells go through the brain barrier and attack the myelin sheath, and it short circuits that electrical system. And wherever it might be hitting in your brain might be affecting an outward challenge, mostly physical, but it can be cognitive, can be mental, can be optical, can be the pain centers. For example, my dad, it affects his entire right side. His entire right side is very difficult to move, but there's no pain. Mine shut down quickly where I couldn't move anything. And I have this burning, crushing pain. It's constant. I don't know how else to explain. Everyone's with it different. So what does MS equal to you? What is it? So we're finding ways to be able to share our experiences and connect with others and let them know, most importantly, you're not alone in this. There are those that understand, and you have a village, you have your tribe, you have people that love you and care for you. And that's the same for every challenge in this life, everything. There are people that understand what you're going through. You're not alone. And that's the most important thing I think I'd like to convey through sharing my story, my experience, that I hopefully can understand a little bit about what you're going through. Maybe not everything, but maybe I can learn from you about what your challenges are, and we can understand a little bit of an insight on how we can go through this journey of life and finding that joy despite the hardships. And that's not easy.
No.
I know sometimes I sound like I'm a motivational speaker and I'm on sitting on my curbside prophet.
Well, you are one, and and I'm in tune with that, and I think it's a beautiful thing. You're telling your story. Not everybody, I love people, and I've had an opportunity to converse with a lot of people who, experience the various things that happened in life, and they want to take that and the knowledge and the relatability and run with it, inspire others, lift others up, empower others. I mean, your family has always done that, and done it not just through music, but through action. And now here is something that came along that is of a medical bent. And once again, inspirational, empowerment through action and words. And it's really, really something very, very special. And it's given you a different perspective, I'm sure, or probably pretty much enhanced this perspective on life you've already had, and just made it even more deeper and even more precious than you already had, which I think is beautiful as well, David.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks. Yes, I that's what I intend, is to hopefully garner some more knowledge and experience, and then wisdom, and then impart that to others, especially my own kids. I know life's not going to be easy for them.
Right.
They're going to go through their own hardships, things that I haven't experienced. Yeah. And hopefully I can be that dad, like my father has been to me, where I'm supportive and I'm understanding and saying, I don't understand exactly what you're going through, but I know these things, and this is what I've learned, and maybe this is something you can garner some hope from. The one thing I've understood as I've traveled around my whole life, and especially now working in different circles of multiple sclerosis, I've met so many neurologists that have shared their experiences with me about diagnosing people, where there are people that come into their office all day long, and they have to be the bearer of bad news and say, there's ALS, there's Parkinson's, there's a brain tumor, this is multiple sclerosis, or what have you. And it's inevitable that, I swear I've heard this so many times from these professionals that say, when an individual walks into my office and I have to be the bearer of that bad news, when I know that individual has a foundation and has an ability to be more positive than not, that they have this disposition of just being, joyful,
right?
Guaranteed. And they say, I cannot put this in a test tube. They always do better than expected. And those that might have this, negative disposition, everything is just bad and terrible, and just not looking for any kind of the positive, any kind, they say they always do worse. And it's interesting how the power of the mind and the thoughts we have really, really affect our physical well-being. As a man thinketh, so is he. Those principles. Interesting to hear the professionals, these neurologists, men and women way smarter than I am, tell me their experiences with that. And so if myself living with an autoimmune disease, if I can hedge my bet and do better, maybe not perfect, but I'll do a little bit better. I look at my kids and look at my wife. why not? Why not try to just force a smile sometimes? And it's hard.
Right.
Some days are way hard,
Yeah.
but try and find something to laugh at least every single day, and surrounding myself with those same positive people, the same others that have the same outlook of there's joy in that journey. It helps tremendously. And you can find those people. There are those that are in the trenches that will understand what you're going through. I encourage you to find them. And that's where a lot of these foundations have some great resources to be able to connect people with the same challenges. And I know the same goes for those other, the different disabilities of cancer and diabetes and financial stuff, the things we were talking about. We're all writing our own story. And I hope that you can connect with the people that understand your journey.
And you're surrounded by that, as I mentioned, and here's another example of that.
My kids, every single night, every single day, we have our family prayers. And every single day, without fail, my kids say, and please bless Daddy and help him with his MS.
That's beautiful.
They don't quite know what that means, maybe, but I do.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm like, I got to do everything I possibly can to be an example to them.
Yeah.
And help them and encourage them that, hey, it's going to be okay. We are sealed together. We are a family. We are bonded, and I love them eternally. And come what may, nobody's getting out of this world alive.
Right.
We it's a quick trip, but if we can at least find something each day to be able to smile about, laugh about, and find joy in, that's my MO. That's maybe that's rose-colored glasses, but it does make life a lot more beautiful.
It really, really does. Yeah, you have many blessings in many different ways that you're very well aware of and in tune with, which I think is a beautiful thing. And I think a lot of people over the last year have sort of gotten in touch with that through the COVID situation, the pandemic, with the downtime and with the wanting to reconnect with family. And also, I've been saying on this show, I hope that we sort of rise from the ashes of it all, more loving, kinder, compassionate, collaborative, unified, and empathetic, because we've been lacking that in the world as a whole, and we need more of that, to really continue. And when you realize that, and you are very, very cognizant of it, I think, which is amazing. It's a beautiful thing, right?
What the world needs now is love, sweet love. There's a song for everything, isn't it? I think you're absolutely right. More than ever do we need to look at each other as we are, the brothers and sisters, and realize we are of the human family, and we are experiencing this life together, and to reach out a helping hand. I know that those principles of learning, serving, and growing bring what goes around comes around. Those are cliche bumper stickers, but everything is reciprocal. Yes. And the more love you give, the more love you will get. It's a proven fact. And I have so many people that I have in my life that have shown that. I mean, here you got my Aunt Marie. These are some of my cousins, my daughter Saffron. This was at the Emmys. And this was a cool experience. I was nominated for Best TV Show Host, and I was able to go down and host the Creative Arts Daytime Emmys. And that's my daughter Saffron. It was her birthday that day, and it was just fun to have these experiences. I'm trying to give my kids now, and have them in unique circumstances. And this was a fun night. I was there with my Aunt Marie as well. She and I get the chance to tour quite a bit. I go as her guest, and we perform, and I've learned so much from her. And she's gone through her hardships,
her thing as well.
She's had her own journey of stuff that I can't imagine changing places with either. And I know that her faith and her strength is derives from that foundation of principles that started when she was just a young girl. And nobody's perfect at all. We're all learning as we grow. But she's really a fun person to hang with. I call her Auntie M. In fact, down here I'm in Southern Utah, I called her and said, "Hey, can I use your house for an internet or whatever?" Because I thought I'd pop by her house. And she's in Mammoth right now. She's out with her husband. And they're camping and exploring themselves, so they're kind of doing the same thing we are.
That's
So I wasn't
cool.
able to stop. So I called my cousin who lives not too far, and that's where I'm at right now.
And Uncle Donny.
My Uncle Donny, yeah, he is such a cool dude. He is the consummate performer. And he's got something really cool coming up next month. He's starting, they were in Vegas for almost 12 years, Donny and Marie.
That's right. I know. Sold out shows. I mean,
oh my goodness, it was #1 show in Vegas.
Yeah.
Awesome.
People were shocked when they decided to, do other things because it was just so beloved, but really cool, huh?
Awesome show. And I had the privilege, I had the opportunity when Donny was either sick or got an injury or something like that was out, Marie would call me and say, hey, where are you? And I'm like, well, here I am. So I raced down to Vegas to fill in for Donny. Not doing Donny's material by any means, but doing Marie's show and kind of filling out the time of that show and being able to perform on that Flamingo stage in Vegas many, 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 many times. And it was such a cool experience. But to sit there and watch my uncle and my aunt still just rocking it in Vegas, man, they are the consummate professionals. And Donny's going back this next month to do his own residency. He's going to be at Harrah's. And it's from what I know about the show, it's going to be unbelievable. So I'm really stoked for Donny.
Yeah.
And, hope everybody gets a chance to see that.
So are you a little bit country or are you a little bit rock and roll?
Man, you've done your research. I'm watching all these pictures. I'm like, man, you spent some time. That's awesome. I'm enjoying it. Thank you very much. I feel
yeah. Well, I love this shot.
Oh, dude, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's a cool one.
You found some gems. I haven't seen some of these in forever.
Yeah, everybody that comes on the show, they're like, "Oh my God, I think this. Are you Ralph Edwards? Is this is your life?"
I know. Kind of feels that way. It seriously does.
Yeah.
And then I have to lean over. I'm creeping around watching myself. Like,
isn't that cool? Sort of like you feel a little bit like you're on a cruise ship, right?
Yeah, I know a little bit. The real David Osmond, please stand up. No, that's awesome. Let's see some of these pictures are just fantastic. Oh my God!
We looked at that one again, and just
so
that's when you think about. And then here's the more recent of
everything. I was telling a story about my brothers just recently to a group of friends. We would have 8 boys. It was a big family, and we were all really young. We had this 15-passenger stretch van where we would drive.
Wow, you can even fit in that little box there.
I know, I'm like right here.
We
had this 15-passenger stretch van that we drove around in. And every time we went to the airport and got out curbside, inevitably pilots and flight attendants, they would try and hop in the van thinking it's like the shuttle to the airport or to the hotel or something like that, or the parking garage. But we had, just a lot of kids, a lot of noise. Yeah. And every time we got in the car, my dad being military, he established a count off, everyone can get in the car, count off, Yeah. And my brother, Mike, Nate, Doug, Dave, Scott, John, Alex, Tyler, 1, 2, 3. I was number 4, 5, 6, 7. My mom was 9 and my dad 10. So when we got there several times, we go through the list. And my brother Doug, he was number 3. He would inevitably go 3, 4. He would just say my number 4. And we think that I was in the car and they would all take off without me. And I set off all the alarms many times at the house and get the cops there when I was just a little kid. But it's fun. Having the large family was such a cool experience growing up. I wouldn't trade it. I can't imagine now, looking back as a parent myself, how my mom and dad did it. I don't know how they did it, but they're rock stars. They're amazing. Yeah, this is great. You got my dad, Alan, Wayne, Merrill, and Jay on the couch. They are the original 4 Osmond brothds from Ogden, Utah, and they were the barbershop quartet that kicked it all off. Andy, it actually discovered by Walt Disney as the guy that really, kind of got them. One of their first big jobs, and then Andy Williams. It was through his brother that he saw those boys and introduced them to Andy, and they went on his show back in the '60s, and then signed a contract, and they were on every single week. America loved them, and they introduced their little brother Donny while on that show, and then Marie, and then of course little Jimmy. They took off. It's pretty incredible the career that they've had and what they've been able to accomplish together. Yeah, as a family. It's pretty remarkable.
Absolutely.
And some cool outfits to boot.
Yes, absolutely. And for so many to be so talented too, all of them having talent and then passing it on to you. And one of our audience members our Lovities viewers asked about the Joseph and Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat experience. What was that like for you?
Oh my gosh, Jim, it was so awesome. I remember going to Toronto, and I think it was in 92. It was 91 or 92. But it's the first show. It was the opening night that Donny did Joseph. And I'd never seen it. I'd only seen a couple Broadway shows at that point. I didn't really know what was what. But I remember my dad saying, hey, we're going to go see Uncle Donny in a show that he's in. So I'm thinking it's like Donny's going to rock it, you know? It was like a Soldier of Love or Sacred Emotion, like 80s kind of stuff, you know? And pulled into this beautiful performing arts center, and the curtain goes up in this Broadway show. And I just remember being captivated as a little kid, as a little boy. I'm going, this is the coolest show I've ever seen. That is awesome. I met Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber that night, Tim Rice, and all these cool people I don't even really know. I'm so young. And Donny went on tour with this Joseph show for many, many years, going to huge cities and sitting down like Chicago and Toronto and he was on tour all over the place. And then when I was 17, I got hired. We had our own performing theater in Branson, Missouri. We were doing 2 shows a day, 6 days a week, and we were performing all the time. And I had a summer off. I had like 4 or 5 months off. And this one local production, regional theater, was doing Joseph. And they were looking for a Joseph. And the set designer who had done all the Donny and Marie shows back in the day, he was part of that, doing the sets. And he suggested the producers, he said, hey, David, who's the lead singer of the Osmond second generation, he's got his summer off. Let's maybe have him come in. So I got hired as this Joseph to come in and actually play Joseph. When I was 17, I was like, this is so awesome.
Yeah.
It was 6 months later that Donny's show, his big touring show, was coming through the same venue, and they were going to sit down for about 6 months. And there was a section of the show where Donny had to leave. He had prearranged some engagements. There were a few weeks that he couldn't be there. So they were looking for a replacement. Well, I had just played there 6 months earlier. They heard about it. They called me up, the production company, and they said, hey, we'd love to meet you. Love to, basically audition me. I went up to Vancouver where the show was, and I met the producers. I sang for them. We did this whole meeting, and they hired me on the spot. And then they called Donny and said, hey, guess who we're replacing you with? It's your nephew. Like, oh my gosh, he's going to hate me. But it was so awesome because I came in there and I filled in for Donny, and they hired me as the standby Joseph. And I was there every night with Donny, and he would go out and do his shows, and I was there just in case. Well, inevitably, it was crazy because we all get sick, but Donny, unfortunately, got really sick. He got laryngitis during that run. And I remember I was 18, and at the beginning of the show, I was replacing him for show after show after show after show. Yeah. And that night, I felt so bad for the audience because I knew you're there to see Donny. He's awesome. And the role of Joseph tonight will be played by David,
the other D.
Yeah. You could just kind of like I could hear through the curtain as I'm about to come down. You could feel the tension. That was kind of trippy as an 18-year-old. But the greatest compliment I got was after those shows. My aunt Debbie, Donny's wife, would come back and say, David, my mind is blown because I'm sitting there watching the show, and I'm watching my husband, 30 years younger. It was like, she goes, it was so awesome, and I was so grateful for the compliment, and so many more that came. In fact, the national touring company, hired me to go out as soon as we closed the show with Donny. 2 weeks later, I went out as the full-time Joseph on the national tour, the Broadway national tour, and was able to perform all over the place. And then I played consecutive companies ever since then, about 5 companies of Joseph. And I've had such a blast playing that role. It's so much fun. In fact, actually just last month or the month before, we were able to do the very first show back into the Eccles Performing Arts Theater, which is the beautiful Belle of the Ball, downtown Salt Lake City. We did a performance of the music of Andrew Lloyd Webber. And it was the first show back in after all the COVID shutdown. And to be able to go back and play the role of Joseph and sing those songs again with an audience who were just begging for a show and entertainment, it was magical. It was really cool. And Lloyd Webber's people came in and saw it, and it was so awesome. That show is timeless. And I hope I get a chance to play it again sometime.
Oh yeah, what an opportunity, right? What an opportunity!
It was huge. It was. I told Marie, like, that role of Joseph, Donny being the Joseph of all Joseph, that is a very small loincloth to fill. It is. You're basically up there with nothing on, so it's a very intimidating show. But Donny was and is the Joseph of all Josephs. He's great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, you're also, I want to let folks know, we're talking about some of these other cool things that you've done, but you have this terrific collaboration with Caleb, and I think this is really amazing. I want to show this here. Tell us about the orchestra that you guys put together. That is amazing. You've got all this new music out, and it's very, very cool. And congratulations, David.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It is so much fun. We've teamed up together. Caleb Chapman is a buddy of mine. I've known for several years. And there were a few people that both of us have worked with, which they told us, they said, David, you got to meet Caleb. And they tell Caleb, you got to meet David. You got to do something together. And as soon as we met, we just clicked, right? Caleb has been doing these types of performances for years. Has a school, a training ground called the Caleb Chapman Sound House. And he has all these different bands of kids that he trains in music and performance and instruments and everything. At live venues and things that they go to and tour and perform and putting bands together. And so he and I were talking about some ideas, like we got to do something together. Like there's something magical here. And as we talked about it, what came out was our band, the Osmond Chapman Orchestra. What we do is we take the best of his students that are now alumni, that have all gone on to higher education in music. And we stack our bands with these young kids. And I call them kids because they're, about 17 to 24, 25, like right in that early age, that young age of the 20s. And they are the most amazing musicians you've ever heard of. They're just unbelievable. The guys that, Bublé would hire and does hire. And so we put together this project where we're doing the American Songbook. But we don't want to be just a cover band, just doing the cool Frank Sinatra, Bobby Darin stuff. Let's do fresh, new arrangements of the old stuff, but there's so many great new songs that we can put big band arrangements to. So we call it the new American Songbook.
Yeah.
And let's go a step further. Let's do original songs as well. So we're not just a cover band, but we're true artists. So we wrote some songs, some original songs. We released the record. We just got it out there a few weeks ago. This last month it came out. And I believe it hit, it broke the top 5 on iTunes the first week it came out. And it's been getting great reviews, and it's just so much fun to perform. We're doing concerts all over the place, and it's a 16-piece big band orchestra. So you got drums, bass, keys, guitar, you got trumpet, trombone, saxophones galore, and it has such an energy to it. I remember as a kid, the very first cassette tape I ever owned, I got from my dad on my birthday, was Frank Sinatra, and I listened to it and just wore it out.
Oh yeah.
What is this? This is time. I just loved it. So now to get the chance, and of course Harry Connick Jr. I was a kid. I looked up to him so much, and still do in many ways. I'm like, that sound is awesome. So now to get the chance to be on stage, to have that band behind me, doing my own original arrangements of music for these songs, is just, I mean, like a kid in a candy store. I can't tell you how awesome it is.
Well, when you were talking about when you were 17, I almost thought you were going to be going into that Sinatra song. When I was 17, it was a very good year.
Right. No, it certainly was. And so many good years after that.
Absolutely.
And I'm so excited about the next step. This is the album right here. It's out right now. It's on, of course, iTunes, but you can stream it on all the services: Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon. We're also in Barnes & Noble and Target and Walmart.
We actually have a cool video that came our way too of you guys performing, and I want to share that with our audience just so they can hear. And then we've got some other MP3s too that were sent our way, which is cool from recent material. But this just shows you guys really knocking it out of the park, David, in such an extreme way. Let's take a look at it, gang. David Osmond, you're gonna love this. Caleb Chapman, and Caleb, his background is also extraordinary as a saxophonist, but he's worked with and produced with some of the giants in the industry over the years as well, huh?
Huge, absolute giants in the industry. Caleb himself has been the president of the Jazz Education Network. His reputation precedes him. We had a chance to do our album release concert this last month at the Rose Bowl down in Pasadena. And so we were down there. And for the band, because of all the craziness of travel, especially right now, what we're able to do is hire musicians, our band from LA for this album release. And the guys that filled that band were guys that they're legends. These were guys that Caleb had on his wall when he was a kid, like, oh, I wish I could play with that guy. And they were our band. And we were doing the show for the album release. We were doing it with Earth, Wind, and Fire that was coming on right behind us. It was awesome. So we had this band of legends, guys from the Dave Matthews Band, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, and just all this whole stacked band. And as we were playing Earth, Wind, and Fire, the guys from Earth, Wind, and Fire kept coming up on the side of the stage, just kind of peeking around like, who is this? Who is this? By the end of our set, like the whole band was on the side just jamming with us. It was awesome. It was such a fun experience. So yeah, Caleb's been able to rub shoulders and associate with some incredible people. So he's the band leader. He plays saxophone, alto sax in the group as well. And we're having a great time. Our live shows just have a ton of energy, and these young kids aren't just great players; they're performers. We bring a lot of energy when we come to the different arenas, and hopefully we get a chance to come over East Coast sometime. What do you think?
And that's just, folks, that's just the teaser.
There's more where that came from, truly.
I never met an Osmond that can't hold a note and hit a high note. And you guys, you're just and just the whole, that's, you're welcome. The whole sound too of, the musicians, the band, all of you, the orchestra together. You're having a good time, and it's such a great sound,
Thank you. Well, it's unique. I know that. I recognize that growing up. I mean, there's some incredible jazz vocalists that I've listened to, and I still listen to, are just awesome. And I come with a background of not just growing up doing barbershop harmony, but a lot of pop music, and then Broadway, and then so I bring this eclectic sound of more of like a kind of a pop jazz sound, but mixed with these cool big band arrangements. It feels like it works. We just love it. And then when it's
fresh too, it feels fresh.
Yeah, and then we do the covers of not just the Sinatra tunes and those old classics, but then like Johnny Cash, we have a version of Ring of Fire, which is totally rad. I mean, it's just amazing. The fact these musicians can play it just blows my mind. It's just we up the BPM just fast, it just kicks. And then we'll do like you heard Bruno Mars. Some really cool songs, and we have a lot in store in our live show. We do a lot of material that's just it's fresh, it's engaging, and then you'll hear these original songs like "There's More Where That Came From," and "We Might As Well Fall in Love," and "I Need a Real Good Thing in a Real Bad Way," and they fit right in with some of that same sound. We want people to hear it and feel like they might know it, but what is that song? We've had so many people go like, hey, "Isn't that an Elvis song?" And it's actually an original written song, so that's a good sign that it's kind of melding into that vibe of the classics, and we hope to add to that American songbook.
Were you guys, obviously before the COVID shutdown and everything, were you touring or getting ready to, or were there things happening and then it came to a halt and then you hope to pick up again soon?
Yes. Truth be told,
the
record was supposed to be released last year, right during the mix, and we had plans and release dates and everything else that was coming out. And then it just put a screeching halt to everything. So we had to kind of sit on hold for a long time. And so this has been a long time coming. Caleb and I have been chomping at the bit to get this record out there. And now that it is, and we're getting the feedback from so many people, it's been very positive. And I hope everybody gets a chance to listen to it and that you like it.
I was going to say, the feedback. What has that feedback been like? It must be really cool to have people say, you know what? I'm really liking this and I want more of that sound.
Yeah, that's such a compliment. So nice, and it makes you feel good. When you release an album, it's kind of like your baby. You're just putting it out there to the world. And you're just like, hopefully you like it. It's a piece of art, and it's one of a kind. And to get the feedback we have so far from the record on the arrangements, the sound, the vocals with the big band, has been so overwhelmingly nice and kind, but also especially the original arrangements. To hear those original songs written, that makes us feel really good and confident that we've got something really special here, and we're going to build upon that. And that's why we called it "There's More Where That Came From." We've had a bunch of live shows even recently. that have just been awesome. And some of the in the live setting, it's such a different experience because it is still jazz. You know, these musicians come up and take their solos and do really cool things that's one of a kind, that's not on the record. And I'm just blown away by the talent. Just the other day we had a show and I'm listening to the piano player. I'm sitting over there and this kid's 17 years old. And I'm watching him just like, you are
Wow.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks, dude. You know, I had a chance I played that song. The Salt Lake Airport, the international airport, just opened up a brand new airport, and they asked if I could come and do that song with the big band arrangement. We performed that for the grand unveiling of the brand new airport, which was awesome. So they dropped the big curtain as we did. Come fly with me, come fly. You know, it was just awesome. And then fly me to the moon. And it was cool. It's such a perfect song for that moment. And then it's so recognizable. Hopefully we can, bring a new twist and a new take on those great songs. They're just timeless.
Absolutely. And, it's also what it's doing too, is it's, the generations that are familiar with the songs where, they were enjoying the originals are hearkening back, and it's giving them that good vibe of memory. But at the same time, you're introducing it to whole new generations too, who are like, my God, that's really good music.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
Yeah. When Lady Gaga teams up with Tony Bennett and they go out, they get kill it. There is an audience from 12 to 92,
Yeah. There really is. Yeah, absolutely. We have another one that they sent along too that I'd love to share with everybody. Everybody's commenting left and right. Thanks for all the great comments, all the lovelies who are watching live all around the world.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. We appreciate it. I'm glad you like the music.
They absolutely are. I'll show you some of the comments in a second. They said, I need a real good thing. That's this song. Tell us about this one.
This is the title track of the record. We need a real good thing in a real bad way. And we had a buddy that Roger Brown that came out of Nashville, who's a songwriter. He's great, and he came and sat down with Caleb and I. And we're like, okay, we're gonna write some songs. And he is an amazing songwriter, so he kind of had the idea for this particular track, and we loved it. We fell in love with it. Thought it was a perfect message for this tune. And it has kind of that gritty kind of just all the saxophones and everything that grits into it. It has a groove to it that is just awesome. So I'll let the song speak for itself, but the message for sure. We know that we have a bunch more down the road we're going to be doing with this project. So this is kind of the first of many projects to come from the Osmond Chapman Orchestra.
Absolutely cool, my friend. Here it is. I need a real good thing. Gang, if you like the songs we've played thus far, you're going to love this. Here we go.
You know what's so
that
cool?
Is incredible.
Thanks,
is the energy. And oh my God.
I just performed that the other night, just a couple nights ago at a concert.
You did? I thought you'd be exhausted from just doing it then.
No. It was awesome because we do these live shows again, which is so much fun. It has so much energy. This particular one where we played that song was for it was a dinner event, an award show called the Best of State. Yeah. And Utah has a Best of State award show, and Osmond Chapman Orchestra won for Best Original Band. And so we were able to play that song with our band for this huge crowd of like Utah's finest and everything. And it gets such a reaction when you do it live. Our bass player has a bass, boom, boom, turns it sideways, is standing on top of the bass playing. It's crazy. It's kind of like, going by the head with the guitar and all that kind of stuff. It was such a fun performance. And that song, when we do it live, always gets a great reaction.
I'm telling you, even right now that it's not live, it seemed like it was live. Just want to show you some of the lovely wave coming your way, my friend. Kathleen Walker in New York City, loving your music. Merlin in Ontario says toe tapping, clap, standing ovation. Janet is saying incredible song. Christine Clifton live in North Carolina, lots of energy, love it. Sherry Larson says wowza. Kathy in Cleveland says loving the big band sounds. Janet says awesome. And Merlin in Canada said that her husband and she would always dance around the house to that good stuff.
Awesome.
And Alessandra in North Carolina. Okay, I have to admit, I'm dancing in my seat while watching.
I think I was too a little bit. I'm just like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love the song. I love the beat and the rhythm it has as well. Smiles and hearts coming from Sherry. Trina loves the CD.
Thanks,
Awesome. Merlin asks, do you sing Strangers in the Night? Good question. Yeah.
I haven't done Strangers in the Night. I'll have to add that to the repertoire.
Love the music. Absolutely. Love the music. Yeah, everybody's loving it. So the CD itself is available at Amazon and all the usual. Is it Spotify?
Amazon. You can, if you want to buy the CD, it's interesting because this last year, vinyl records actually outsold CD sales.
Isn't that cool?
Isn't that wild? So, but if you want to have a CD, certainly it's available at Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Target, and of course from Amazon. And then if you want to stream it, you have streaming service, Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon. It's on all the streaming services as well. So check out Osmond Chapman Orchestra and you'll find it.
Yeah, you got it. And you guys love performing together. You perform incredibly well. It's such synchronicity there. And more coming too, right? You guys this is just the beginning. You're gonna
there's more where that came from. That's the title track of the record. And our single was The Way You Look Tonight, which is of course the classic that everybody knows. And we wanted to put our version of it out there and hope you enjoy it. Check it out. Let me know what you think too. We love to interact with all of our friends and our fans and those that support us. We appreciate it so much. So, whether it's Instagram or on Facebook or whatever, what have you, let me know what you think. And we love that feedback as much as possible. And especially the feedback you've given us today when you're up and dancing in your living room and doing all that stuff, that makes us feel so good. So thank you very much.
Sandra says, love the reimagining of the music I grew up listening to and the fresh new tunes. And Marty says, let's see, we appreciate you. That is from Alessandra. That just slipped in there quick. Thanks, Alessandra. And Marty says, from one crooner to another, swinging your off. Tail, right?
Nice.
Is that tail off?
Keep singing. Keep singing. Keep crooning.
Yes. David, your versatility is sensational.
Thanks, Maureen.
Vinyl is back, baby, from Christine. Christine. Yeah, I still have the turntable. We still have it. We never got rid of it. Nice. Lots of energy. Love it. Incredible song.
Thanks, guys.
I always like to ask my guests, what are some of the things in life that continue to bring them blessing and great joy? You have a lot of things that you're blessed with, and I'm very fortunate to have a loving family and strong friend base and people around me and my life too that, we can call upon and we can support one another through the craziness of life. And we are collectively both in the public eye and both in industries that demand a lot, that expect a lot, that want a lot, that, soak up a lot of the energy. And then we have to, flip it over for the next day. For you, the blessings and the joys and the inspiration in your life, David, that continues to propel you forward to want to, even through physical pain and things that you have to deal with at levels that not everybody has to deal with. True inspiration in so many incredible ways, my friend. Those blessings and joys for you, what would you say?
Certainly family always comes first. And my wonderful wife, my children, they're my bedrock. They're my joy. And trying to, I get so much happiness from when they're happy and learn from them each and every single day. And I strive to be the best husband, best father I can be. And having a foundation of, faith and knowing that we're eternal beings, that this life is a quick trip, and knowing that there's purpose in what our future holds brings the true joy, I think. And you know, there's struggle every day. Everybody has challenges. Everyone has problems. And you can choose to be bitter about it, or you can choose to be better about it. And I hope I'm not always perfect, but I hope I choose the latter more often than not. And my joy comes from that family and that faith, and knowing that there is purpose in life.
That is something to just pause on and hold, because that's so beautifully said, my friend. It really is. Because there could be somebody watching right now who's, you know, experiencing and going through something, and they're seeing you and they're hearing your message, which is profound and heartfelt and soulful, that even transcends the career and the music and the limelight. You guys do what you do, Osmonds, for reasons that go beyond just the great music. And it's so evident, and it's always been the case. And the blessings are there, the joys are there, and the talent is there. And, you know, when you look back at all of it, and again, you got so much more to deliver, but when you look back at all of it, it's a pretty amazing ride, isn't it?
It certainly is, and it's a roller coaster. I wrote a song about my journey with beautiful symphonies, and as she does her show, she brings me as a guest artist to come and do duets with her and songs with her, and then turn the stage over to me to perform my own music with these symphonies. So I'm at massive performance halls, beautiful places that have. Sorry, I'm gonna close this door. My kids are now coming in making noise. They're out of the pool.
They're toweled off.
Yeah, exactly.
What's Daddy doing on TV again? On TV again?
His own music. What is he doing? But these shows with Marie are so much fun. Where, you know, when we do our stuff, our banter on stage, we have such a blast. And then when she turns it over, gives her a chance to go and have a costume change and change her shoes and things like that. You know. So, but they're beautiful venues. So there's a lot in store from different venues across the country, and it's been a blast touring with Marie.
That's cool. What would you say to somebody watching who's considering going into this industry? I mean, you've been in it, your family's been in it, you've seen all different sides of it. What would be a source of inspiration for somebody that is looking at you right now and saying, gee, I would love to kind of do that too?
Make sure that you absolutely love it. You have a passion for it. It is hard work. I mean, in any business, I mean, you are your own product. If you're going out to sell a widget of some sort, you know, you have to market yourself, and there's a lot of noise in the industry now. I mean, to be able to get heard and listened to, it takes a lot. You are your own marketing team. You know, utilize the social media, utilize the tools that are there. You're able to record, you know, out of your closet these days. You know, right out of your basement. I mean, wherever you are, there's a lot of cool technology. So there is a lot of stuff that's available to you now to be able to actually get the job done and work on your craft. Keep performing. Find every opportunity to get in front of people and to share your music. Thanks, buddy. Have a good night.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
Yeah.